Hello, welcome again to Olik's channel. We are going to learn about computer architecture, the second point titled Computer Functions. These are some of computer peripherals where we have keyboard and mouse, the input devices used to get data inside the computer system while typing text, numbers, and giving some commands. Speakers, which are used to get sound out of the computer system. Monitor, which is used to display data or information so that they can be viewed by the user. And computer case, which is enclosing all inner parts of the computer. Scanner, which is used to get digital data inside the computer system. Microphone, which is used to get sound inside the computer system. Webcam, which is used to get photos inside the computer system. And modem, which is used to convert from analog data to digital data or from digital data to analog data. And printer, which is used to get hard copies out from the computer system. The computer, while working, may receive data, manipulate data, display or keep the processed data, and this explains the four major functions of a computer, which are input function when data is got inside the computer system, process function when data is being manipulated by the processor, output function when the processed data is got out from the computer system, and storage function where data is being kept on a storage device. Let's now talk about functions one by one. Data input or input function. A computer, being a data processing machine, does nothing until the user provides the data that needs to be processed and the instructions that tells it how the data is going to be processed. The data may be entered manually via add-on peripherals like keyboards, mouse, and so on. Data may be entered automatically via local dictation applications or body gestures, and data may also be entered using secondary storage media and networking interfaces. The most common input devices are keyboard and mouse, and almost modern computers have these devices. Other common input devices are scanner, microphones, USB drives, and webcams. Input data and instruction can also be generated from a non-standard input device, such as the hard disk and CDs or DVDs. For example, where a batch file in the Windows system may instruct the CPU to execute a program or a script at a particular time. Function number 2 is data processing or processing function. Data processing is the core function of the computer. It involves manipulation of raw data before converting it into meaningful information. The brain of the computer, where data is processed, is referred to as the microprocessor. It is also commonly known as the CPU, besides which the dynamic RAM and static RAM are the integral parts of the data processing. Where data is entered via input devices is temporarily stored in dynamic RAM and then transferred to static RAM, from where the microprocessor manipulates it. The CPU processes user instructions, executes scripts and programs, and runs commands of operating system that provide a platform for installing and using application software. Function number 3 is information output or output function. When raw data has been manipulated by the processor, the outcome is meant to be disseminated for the useful purpose. The output is thus referred to as information and is beneficial to the computer user. Aside from monitor, a variety of output devices are also available. Each output device presents the processed data in a different form. For example, a monitor displays the processed data so that they can be viewed by the user. The printer prints the processed data on hard copy, and the speaker plays the processed data as sound so that they can be heard by the user. Let's see some examples of data processed. Data processed can be viewed as alphanumeric image and video via display hardware. Data processed can also be printed as a hard copy out onto a paper. The processed data can be also listened to as audio files by the users of speaker. The processed data can also be printed as three-dimensional models. Function number 4 is data information storage or storage function. For example, if the user, after sleepless nights of video creation, editing, and animation, he or she may want to have the finished product stored on for a future dissemination and additional editing. For this, a computer can store information internally and externally. The hard disk drive and or solid-state disk drive are the internal storage devices and serve to protect and house all data and information in a computer. External storage is achieved through accessories that are externally attached to the computer. These include external drives and optical disks. Data stored in a permanent storage component is not erased when the system is shut down. The hard disk is the most common permanent storage component, and usually all computers have at least one hard disk to store data. Other common permanent storage components or devices are external drives, USB drives, and CD or DVDs. And in addition, data and information can be stored online in cloud solution if a large space is required. Then follow to this. If the user types 2 and 5 and then instructs to the computer that he or she wants to perform the addition, the computer will receive the numbers and then perform the addition, 2 plus 5. The computer will also display the output as number 7. And then if the user wishes to save the output, the computer will also save the number. This explains briefly the 4 functions of a computer. While the user is typing 2 numbers and instructs the computer that he or she wants to perform the addition, the function here was input. If the computer performs the addition 2 plus 5, the function here is process. And if the computer displays the output as number 7, the function here is output. And if the computer stores the output, then the function is storage function. In briefly, we have input, process, output, and storage functions of a computer. Then let's find the answers for our exercise. We are going to read the action, then state the function, and give the device which is in charge for the function. For example, we have a user which is running a text editor program and types the letter Z on the keyboard. The keyboard sends a code representing the letter Z to the CPU. The device used here is keyboard and the function performed is input. Then we are going to answer the actions from 1 up to 5. The CPU executes then the code and determine what letter was typed. The device used here is CPU, of course, and the function is process. Good. 2. Then the CPU sends the instruction to the monitor to display the letter Z. The monitor displays the letter Z. The device used here is monitor and the function performed is output, as in the letter Z is displayed. 3. The user clicks the save button. The mouse sends a code representing the click. The device used to send the code is mouse and the function performed is input, as the computer is receiving the code. 4. CPU executes the code and determines the clicked action. The device used is CPU and the function performed is process, as the CPU is going to execute the code sent to it. 5. CPU saves the file on the disk. We are now going to save. Then the device used is hard disk and the function done is storage. Congratulations. Thank you for learning with us. See you for next time.